Okay.
All right. Hello. Thank you so
Hi.
much for doing this with me. I appreciate it a lot.
It's no trouble.
Yeah. How are you today?
I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that your real background or is this one of those fancy?
No, we're at the beach, so this is
Oh.
a rental beach house
So it
with
looks suspiciously like one of those, like the fancy Microsoft Teams
yes, but
backgrounds.
actually you can kind of see like the laundry on the table over there,
There
which
you go.
is
Yeah.
a little suspect.
Dead giveaway. Yeah.
Dead giveaway, yeah.
Nice. Hanging out at the beach, but this is not where you live. Just for.
No,
Okay.
no, I live in New York, in the
Okay.
city.
And this is just a getaway. Where are you?
It's,
Where's the beach?
in Fire Island.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
How long are
I
you
mean
staying
it's
for?
just a week.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Um, I know from talking to you a while back, just in DMs, that
Hmm.
you were looking for a job. Is this a
Yes.
vacation or is this what's the situation nowadays?
Well, so I had this temp job that I was doing for like a year and a half after COVID.
Hmm.
I mean, after COVID, like that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I was laid off because of COVID, and then I just
Oh, I
took some
see.
time off because New York was insane,
Yeah.
and it just seemed like a good idea.
Yeah.
And then I took a temp job, which was supposed to last 2 months to cover someone's maternity leave, and
Hmm.
then it's still going on to this day. And it was
Okay.
supposed to end in June, but my boss quit, so they asked me to stay another 3 months.
Wow. I feel like
So
that's always what happens. There's just this
yeah,
chaos of life that sort of gets in the way of your plans. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, listen, like it's better than having no income, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I see what you're saying.
yeah,
I always think of work as being as good as it gets, considering the fact that you're an employee.
yeah,
Like if
yes,
you have a good job, it's like, well, that's great.
yeah.
You still in a perfect world, a world where we are doing the whole the luxury space communism type thing,
Oh,
then
got that one.
we could spend our time just pursuing the arts, make
Yeah,
pottery and poetry and dance or whatever it is that we want to do.
yeah.
What would you do if you could do anything?
Um, honestly, that's the problem. I don't know what I
Yeah,
would do if I could do anything.
yeah.
I kind of stumbled into my profession. I generally work in visual merchandising
Mhm.
for retailers, kind of accidentally. So, I mean, right now I'm designing visual merchandising directives for a large older women's mall store chain.
Neat.
So,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, no, because I was working at Eileen Fisher, which I don't know if you know Eileen Fisher, but it's like the average customer age is like 72 or something
Oh,
like that.
nice.
It's like a
Yeah.
very like if you see a therapist on TV, she's wearing Eileen Fisher. It's
Wow.
like sensible clothes for smart ladies. And
I like it
so I
already. Yeah.
think, yeah, right. So I think that I'm entered the visual merchandising world of servicing the needs of older women.
Wow, that's fascinating. But you know what? So in some strange way, I see that as being fitting for you for you. Well, not specifically, the demographic that you serve or anything, but
Yeah.
just you are perhaps the most like visual person I can think of. I've followed you for what, 5 years, like a long
A
time.
while now, yeah.
Yeah, and you have, I don't know, you're like the your account is the Instagram version of Tumblr. It's very but
Well,
very refined.
yeah, no, no, I get that, and
Yeah,
I think that I hear that in the comments a lot.
yeah,
Like your Instagram is my favorite Tumblr, and
yeah.
that's a little bit like I don't know,
Oh,
I
I'm
don't know
sorry.
about
So
that.
so
No,
what?
no, no, it's more like Tumblr's like very like millennial and chuggy, I guess is that a word? I don't
I
know.
don't know what that
I'm
word means, but yeah,
I'm
maybe.
like I'm 44, so
Okay.
it just seems like both it's younger than I should be. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
okay.
it's sort of like, and then like I'm trying to be young, but I'm not because I feel very, very old.
Well, I,
So
I, I mean it in the most, I don't know, respectful, admirable way. Or
I know, I'm just
I'm,
being,
I'm Swedish. I can sometimes I don't find the words. But my point being, like when I think of early internet, and I think of the people that just started to see that, oh my God, all these beautiful images are out there, and I'm going to start gathering them. Like that's what I get from your
Yeah.
account. So I,
Yeah.
yeah, tell me about what when you first started out. Like how did it come about?
So I got sober in 2013,
Hmm.
and before that was uh, a few years of very intense drug use. And like part of becoming addicted to drugs in a serious way is that like you kind of lose all sense of who you are and your interests, and like all the little things that you might do to fill a day
Hmm.
suddenly become drugs instead.
Hmm.
So it was kind of like um, rediscovering old interests in a lot of ways, and like kind of rediscovering like the just internal voice and whatever that I had been kind of squashing for a while. um, and so I started the Instagram account in 2014, and I posted just stuff that I saw. It wasn't like it wasn't there was no thought to it whatsoever. And then like it and again, like I was like it's like blasted from drug use. Like I hadn't read a book in like 3 years. My brain was just not in a good spot. So I was like, oh wait, I can post other things besides images that I take with my phone camera.
That's right.
So I know it was like quite a revelation. Um,
But people weren't doing it. I mean, I think of you
yeah,
as
no,
almost
I
like
mean,
pioneering the medium. Okay, sorry, that's really
yeah. So
pretentious,
like
but
I just well,
you,
because I remember like
yeah,
seeing people on Instagram post things that were like, oh, that's like that's Grace Jones, that's like a Helmut Newton
yeah,
photograph or whatever.
yeah,
And being like, oh, wait a minute, I could do that too. Like there's nothing stopping me.
yeah.
So that kind of was the genesis of it.
That's fascinating, and I think so much about that. I know that I've encouraged myself. I have encouraged people to start shit posting accounts.
Yeah.
Because people reach out to me and they go like, "Oh, look at this one," or look at this one, and oh,
Yeah.
your account is so cool, and I'm like, What's do it yourself?"
What's stopping you?
It's so easy. People do it, and then they do it, and they're like, "Holy smokes, this is so cool!" Now I have all
Yeah.
these internet friends that I'm
Yeah.
and like a community that I'm part of, and anyone can do it. But I think the boundaries we place on ourselves and our expression, they go deep.
Yeah,
And when
for
you start to
sure.
think about that, for I can start an Instagram account to post whatever I want. Think of all the things you can do in life that there's no one stopping you.
Yeah. I mean, I wish that I could apply that bravado elsewhere in
Yeah,
life,
but
but
maybe you can.
yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I joke with myself that maybe I wasted my white lady the secret style wish it and it comes true
Yeah, that's
on developing a small large Instagram following, and
yeah.
not on like developing my wealth or whatever you're supposed to do.
Well, I forget. Is it yeah, like Marcus Aurelius, or like Stoicism, whatever? They say, imagine that you died yesterday and today is like the first day of the rest of your life. Like, take advantage. It's a little corny, but you get my point, right? Like, if there's
Yeah,
any direction you want to go in, like you can
yeah.
write it down and then you have something to work towards.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Um,
I just remember I knew this guy who like actually did like a mood board, like a wish board for like
for
he wanted
manifesting
to
stuff,
start
yeah,
yeah, and for starting a barbecue sauce company. And I hope that he's doing well. I wish no one any ill.
yeah,
But I just and you know it's good that I got sober because I was very mean when I was using drugs, and I just made fun of him relentlessly for this barbecue sauce dream board. Even now, stone cold sober, it's like you need a board for that. So,
but just to
I
remind yourself a little, I wish
yeah,
I wish him all the best in his endeavors,
yes,
barbecue sauce endeavors.
barbecue sauce.
Um, so I think being mean. If you want to be mean effectively, you need to have very discerning taste, and you
Yes,
have very discerning taste. So I see your account again. Like maybe this is me projecting, but I see it being put to a better use when it's curating imagery. I don't know.
yeah.
Like you have a strong sense of that. I can see that being weaponized if someone crosses you.
Yeah, I struggle with the meanness. Like I don't want to be a mean person,
Yeah.
but I recognize that that's in me, like it's just I mean, kids these days. I love saying kids these days. I mean, they're nice. Like my niece is 20. She's a nice person. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And like we were not. I mean, my sister and I were so mean to each other. We were mean to like our friends. We're just like
mm,
generationally mean, I think.
mm,
And it's just I just think about the things that I have said to people, especially like online, where it's like you have that veil
anonymity.
of
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly. And it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, it's full insanity. So, yeah, you know,
I get it.
trying to be nice. It's hard
My
work.
my my hypothesis is that hurt people, and that the best revenge is living well, and that we all
Yes.
have the capacity to do or be anything, like
Yeah.
truly. So
Yeah.
if you catch yourself being too mean, then make sure that you're doing okay. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Well, also, I will go down the rabbit hole if someone says something annoying or stupid that I will, and I'll sometimes confront them in the
yeah,
comments. And it's like, at the end of it, I just feel like an asshole. And it's like, I'm never going to change anyone's mind.
yeah,
So I find it better to just delete it and move on
yeah.
because it's
I,
just the
I'm
dialogue's
torn.
rotten.
Like I sometimes I
I've
go
seen
there.
some things that you did. There was an infographic you posted, and the girl who made it was like
Oh, you
insisting that
saw
you
this.
take it down.
Yeah.
I was like, I was glued to it because I have gone down that rabbit hole before and I appreciated that you were doing it too.
Yeah, yeah, of
Um,
course.
yeah, so
And you know what? That's something that I've only come to learn in the past few years. So you said you're 44. I'm 37.
yeah. Okay.
Um, and yeah, in the past like 2 or 3 years, maybe understanding that people can be loud and offended and upset and nice people without being right. And
Yeah.
just having a little bit more confidence to say like, no, here's why I believe the things that I believe to be true, and you're
Yeah.
a nice person, I'm sure, and but in
Yeah.
this particular case, like, we don't see eye to eye, and I'm gonna trust my confidence. I'll listen to you, but I
Yeah.
know what's right for me. And then just as patiently as you can, have the conversation and try to not be too condescending or cruel or mean, or
Yeah.
whatever it may be. But yeah,
Yeah.
the internet is an interesting place because you never know where people are coming from. Is it
Well,
in
also like
good or bad
when you're
faith? It's hard.
posting
Yeah,
an infographic, like what reasonably do you expect that it's going to happen? Like it's not a gallery wall,
yeah,
like it's out there.
yeah,
Like I know that we're having conversations about like appropriation and like blah blah
hmm,
blah, but like you posted something on an Instagram account
hmm,
that's public.
yeah,
So like how is it not going to enter the world?
yeah, exactly. And I think appropriation is an interesting one for sure. But I spend a lot of time making music, and
Hmm.
obviously the further you go back, the more it comes from tribal music, or smaller groups, or ethnic groups, or indigenous peoples,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. But like, by sharing into the world, if I take something and I say, now this is mine and it's no longer yours, then yeah, of course that's terrible. That's like in poor
Yeah.
taste. But if we're saying, I'll listen to your influences, or I'll take whatever you said and I'll build on it, like, that to me
Hmm.
is progress in society and culture and all those things, and it's something that we all do, whether we admit to it or not. And
Yeah.
it culminates with people saying like, "Oh, you didn't tag me on this shitty meme that I made." But
Yeah.
fundamentally, you didn't create the platform, you didn't create Photoshop, you didn't create the
Yeah.
alphabet. Like, we're all just
Yeah.
borrowing and stealing influences from everyone all the time.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, on that note, so you've posted prolifically for a long time.
Yes.
How do you feel about your online footprint?
Um, it depends on the day. I like some of it. I'm engaged by some of it.
Hmm.
Some of it, I'm annoyed by. Like I have a lot of, it's like, especially in stories, it's like very reactive and very
Hmm.
like, what the fuck is going on in this world?
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know. I have hot takes like anyone. We live in really wacky times. So I would like to be a little bit more disengaged from things
Hmm.
because it's just, uh, I take things very personally. And it's like, you know, especially like, uh, I don't feel resolved in my career. I'm not, my job is fine. It's doing what it needs to
It's
do,
a
but
job.
like, I'm not a great success.
Yeah.
So, you look at what's happening in the world and it's like, oh, it's like 140 in Arizona right now, and
Hmm.
like, everything's gonna die, and
Hmm.
like, it's sort of like, why am I trying to get a job or whatever?
Hmm.
And it's just sort of reactive thinking and like going way too wide with things. And I feel like I go way too wide with things sometimes, and that is vexing.
Hmm.
Because I would like to appear to be a cooler person, even if I'm not a cooler person. But it's like it, it's not a great investment of time either. A lot of what happens in the actual post where I'm like putting 10 images together and like writing a little blurb,
Hmm.
there are sort of happy accidents. There are some parts that are intentional. It's very like, it's not really heavily thought out. It's kind of like, give me 10 minutes and I can throw this together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that I like a lot more because it feels, especially when there's sort of those accidents, like two images that come together and like it becomes more meaningful because of their, adjoining qualities.
Yeah.
Um, and then sometimes it's just like, I got to post something, I got to
Wait.
get that,
Why? Why do you have to post something?
well, it's got to keep the audience engaged.
So tell me about your relationship to your audience then. What does that look like?
Um, Well, I don't really post a lot of like images of myself, so there is like a sort of a sense of remove from it.
Hmm.
Like I get a lot of messages, people are into the kind of stuff that I post, but um, you know, I there are people like you who I feel like get it in a way, and like
Hopefully.
I have
Yeah.
respect for what you post, and like
Yeah.
and then there are some people who I think don't get it,
Hmm.
and that's fine too, like because everyone is allowed to have their own opinion of what an image might mean. um and then there are like a group of people that I would like not want to meet in real life. I would cross the street,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like, it's like yeah. um the weird stuff to me is like kind of celebrities, like interacting with celebrities, like
Mm.
that is kind of it's strange,
How so?
like, well, it's like, it's not like I have like super famous people following me, but like
You have a couple, I'm sure. Yeah.
there's a few. I
Yeah.
mean, like, but then like Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit follows me, and it's like, just my perception of Limp Bizkit is from when I was in high school, and it was like, this is not my thing.
Yeah.
But then, if anyone from Limp Bizkit was going to follow me, then the guitarist who paints himself to look like a demon would be the one. So it's just sort of like, it's weird, and I kind of have like a lot of like rigid thinking about people.
Yeah.
Like I spent a lot of time by myself growing up. I have social anxiety, blah
Hmm.
blah blah. So
Hmm.
it's like, you know, so like I just don't think that, for example, straight people would be into what I'm posting, but
Hmm.
they are, so, but
I can personally
it's
attest to that. Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
Good.
Yeah.
So it's just funny. It's not a monolith for sure. But yeah, I
Next.
don't know, it's so weird because it's like, I didn't really have an intention,
Yeah.
like a stated intention with it. Like it wasn't like, I'm going to be an influencer and I'm going to post pictures of my workouts and I'm going to like talk about like, my diet or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, um, so,
But you break through a little. Like there's some more personal sides to it every so often. I know.
of course.
George, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. How's George doing?
Let me go grab her.
Yes.
Bubba. Hi, Bubba. Come on, buddy. Oh, buddy. Come on. Oh,
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 what a little sweetheart.
oh.
Precious.
She was roasting on the deck all day, so she's a little tired. Right, Bobo?
uh, oh,
Yeah,
you call her Bobo? That's funny. My
yeah.
partner calls our cat, her cat, Bobo too, but that is not the name of the cat.
No. I mean, she's like people, so she's
Yeah,
got to have a lot of names.
nice. So yeah, there is some personality coming through, and obviously, I know I lost my bigger account that I
Yep,
had
yep.
a while
Yes.
back, but I I always thought, like it's nothing, but it's a lot of nothing. And then when I lost
Yeah.
it, I was sad. It was a.
Yes.
Do you ever come close to? Do you ever get violations or
Yes, all the,
fear
I
that
mean, I
you'll lose
used
it.
to a lot more.
Yeah,
I would try to push the button a little bit, and
yeah,
I've since stepped away from that
yeah.
because I was like, my account was deleted.
Mm.
And then, uh, do you know the account LGBT History?
Vaguely.
Yeah, so they did, like, I'm Instagram friends with them, and they
Mm.
did a pride, like a pride thing with Instagram a few years ago. So they messaged their person on Instagram and they got my account back for me.
Nice.
So there were a few days where it was like, holy fuck, what am I going to do? Am I
Mm.
going to have to start this over again?
Mm.
And after that, I was a little bit more careful,
Mm.
like posting, like, what got me was I posted a George Platt-Lynn photograph of someone's butt. It was like
Can't do that.
taken in the 30s. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think about that sometimes. Like, I wonder how they decide who does what on which platform. Because if you go on, I guess YouTube, people swear a lot, and if you go on, Netflix and
Yeah.
stuff, a lot of the entertainment there is really swearing too. I'm thinking maybe they do it so that they can, they as being the tiny six companies that own all media, that they can.
It's six. That's generous. I think it's like three.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But maybe they do it so they can give the illusion of choice. Like, oh yeah, if you want to be a little bit more vulgar and use curse words, then you can
Hmm.
go on here. But here we
Yeah.
talk about how family and going hiking and drinking a glass of
Yeah.
champagne. Like that.
Yeah.
It's strange. Like I think it's confining our thought into a little corner, and it's like this is now what we
Well,
can
also
talk
it's
about.
not evenly applied. Like,
Of course not.
I
Yeah.
I saw this video yesterday of this guy who was doing, like, he was doing his leg workout, but he was like literally wearing like a thong and like the tightest like long underwear, thinnest. Like you could see everything, and like
Yeah.
um it was, I mean, it was the definition of pornographic because the intent was to titillate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
but um but that's fine on there, but then some things are not. And then like you get into the whole like, oh, I'm, here's a Nazi, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to allow like, you know whatever.
For sure.
But so it's it's more confusing than anything, like.
Yeah. I guess a lot of it comes down to who's saying it and what interests do they represent.
Yeah.
If you're famous or if you promote consumerism in one of its
Hmm.
many forms, then that's probably better. Um,
Yeah.
and even your example of having a personal connection to someone that can reinstate your account. I
Yeah.
think that's not a unique story. And
Yeah.
if you look at the the bigger sort of macro level of that, what happens to the people that are less connected? Like they will be, yeah, they will
Yeah,
not
I mean,
have as much of a platform.
it's just like anything else. It actually does turn out that it's who you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I
Which
saw
is like.
there was a study being made, and they said something along the lines of if you go to college and you join a fraternity, one of those groups,
Hmm.
your GPA, your grades will go down by a certain
Hmm.
average like percentage, but
Hmm.
your lifetime earnings will go up by
Oof.
like 36%. I think the study said
Yeah.
on average. So like
Yeah.
yeah, your network is your net worth and all those cheesy things. I think it's
Oh
actually kind of true,
God.
which is terrible, terrifying.
Maybe
Um,
I just need to start like a pro business account where it's like alpha bro whatever,
Maybe,
and it's
yeah.
just going to be like, I'm really going to be about business. I love
But you know
business.
what? So I think in some way you kind of are. Okay, and hear me out. You said that you have social anxiety, right? Um,
Yes.
I can relate to that to some extent. I think, okay, another really corny phrase, but somebody said that they're an ambivert, so not an introvert or an extrovert, but like depending on the context. And
Yeah.
I think that's me. There are times where I certainly feel like I wish I could just um, turn into a little ball in the corner, and other times where I'm like, look at me.
Yeah.
Um, but I think Instagram has given us a platform where we are able to actually connect with people in a way that doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like homework to reach out
Yeah.
to a bunch of followers and share a joke or share something interesting. So it's like this. different way of doing it. Because if you tell people that, yeah, you need to network, or networking is good for you, good for your career, then you're like, oh my god, exactly, they do exactly this. But what is networking? Because how many followers do you have?
Like 65,000, I
Yeah,
think, something
so
like that.
65,000 people caring about what you have to say and having some form of relationship with you.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy, but that's networking.
But it was the thing about it is that it's networking on my terms, Sorry,
Yeah.
only 60,000. I don't want to
Oh,
overstate
yeah, yeah.
things. I apologize. Do you want to end this interview now?
Yes.
You're
Calling
like
it.
65 or above. Yeah, no, but it's on my terms though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and also like, you do have the choice of like, for me, it's like, I'm sorry being kind of vague here, but like, so like you have this panoply of things that like you can let in essentially,
Mhm.
through this portal. And like a lot of it is irksome and a lot of it is dumb. And like a lot of it is like, I mean, like honestly, like the content farms in like India and Bangladesh making like infographic memes that don't make any sense. Like that's some of my favorite stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
good.
like there's the unintentionally good stuff,
Mhm.
and then there's that narrow band of stuff that like you like and search out. But like the real like the like fitness gays really drive me insane. It's like that kind of stuff. It's like I want less of that, but like because I am gay, it's like the algorithm knows that that's what other gay people in
Mhm.
my demographic want to see, so I get fed it a lot.
I see. Yeah.
And so I guess I'm not even disagreeing with you. It is a lot like networking because you're going to have conversations with people you don't want to
You've
in
seen
some
the
way.
people that are going out and doing like makeup tutorials and stuff with a little ring light and a little tripod,
Yeah.
and they do it under an overpass somewhere because it's in a slightly better postal code, so the
Yes.
recommendation algorithm will be worth more.
Oh my
Um,
God, really?
this
I
is a
didn't even
thing.
know that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So to your point, like we have to be very deliberate with who we surround ourselves with, and not just on Instagram, like in real life. If you want to see a predictor of someone's future opportunity and wealth and those things, look at their postal code, look at
Yeah.
where their neighbors went to school and those things. Like that is closely correlated with your income levels and the economic opportunity for your kids and grandchildren, like all those things.
Yeah.
So it is a world where I don't know, somebody I don't know. I just think of this sort of intersectional approach to privilege and think that it's not something that we are sheltered from ever. But
Yeah.
what I see as being a great opportunity for people like yourself and me is like Instagram seems to. I mean, it's still like a nascent platform. It's still new,
Yeah.
but I have a lot more opportunity on there than I have in many other avenues of my life, and it actually has opened doors or connected me with people that I like, or I think it has actually like improved the quality of my life a fair bit,
Yeah.
even with all its flaws and hating the business behind it or all the
Yeah.
crappy stuff that they do. It's not black and white, you know.
Yeah. No, it
Yeah.
really isn't. And I think that if you posted some reels, then your life would improve even
Yeah,
more.
you just have to go stand in a good postal code somewhere when you post them. Yeah.
Find your postal code, post that
Yeah.
reel,
Yeah.
maybe tag Mark Zuckerberg. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be great.
Yeah. And
Maybe the whole leftist bent is a little bit like,
but then you see how the big companies like I guess Meta and Facebook and Alphabet and so on, they 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 recognize that if you go too far in one direction, like the quality of the content goes down. So then they need
yeah,
to change it. So like the algorithm based around people that you interact a lot with, yeah, probably makes more sense. Or where you go or the words that you use and whenever they're listening to you in daily
yeah,
conversation. But they also do the things like, yeah, smash that subscribe button and hit that bell. And if this is the first time you're ever watching a video, before we'll get right into it, but before we do, like hit that like button. And it
yeah,
detracts so much of the actual experience that they're looking to do. So then there's
yeah.
this like cat and mouse game of trying to find something that doesn't become predictable or boring or feels too salesy. But
Well, yeah, that's it. It's like the soft sell or the hard sell,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And if you're actually selling a lifestyle, which I think a lot of people are, I don't I don't feel that I'm selling my lifestyle because I haven't nailed down my lifestyle quite yet.
Well, yeah, okay. Depending on how you view it, I guess. But again, back to the whole like discerning taste and appreciation of culture and those things. You do that in
Yeah,
a refined way, like that's why I follow you because I know that you will show me like interesting, beautiful, funny things, and also
but I like
George.
a high low, you know.
Yeah, 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 totally, totally.
um,
Yeah. So lifestyle. Okay. So you said you don't necessarily know what you want to be when you grow up. Um,
Sadly.
so let's. Okay. I'm sorry for being a therapist, but if we dive like a little bit deeper into that, um, I think knowing what you want to do is one angle.
Mhm.
Knowing what you don't want to do is another. They will take you roughly to the same place,
Yeah.
but in different ways. Like, have you ruled out options, things that you wouldn't consider or don't want to do?
Oh, of course. I mean, like, I think about like old retail jobs that I had, and I
Mm.
would sooner just shoot myself in the face than ever go
Hopefully,
back
it doesn't
to.
have to come to that. But
I don't think it's going to come to that,
yeah.
but like after the market crashed in 2008, I
Mhm.
took a sales job at Saks,
Mm.
and it was like the worst 2 years of my life.
Mm.
Just, I mean, like, I mean, you talk about privilege, and like, so I was servicing a customer that was shopping at like peak luxury during a time when, like, how many people lost their homes, like, the whole thing. Like, I remember seeing on the news that, like, women were concerned leaving Hermes with Hermes bags, because so they were bringing like brown paper bags that they could leave the store with so
Yeah.
people wouldn't know that they were shopping at
It's
Hermes.
really
And
tough
like,
for them right now. Yeah.
I feel so
Yeah.
bad. Won't someone think of the rich? And so like, and like, sort of like hustling to like make these sales with these like fucking like, anyone who says that rich people or have any sort of native intelligence is lying to you, because they're like, I don't know. Anyway, um, that was the worst thing that I've ever had to do. Like, and I've done physical labor. It's just it. I would never want to do that again. So
I
keep me out of sales.
I've moved countries lots of times. Not lots of times, but one, two, three, four times maybe.
That's
Something like
enough.
that.
That's a lot.
As an adult, like on my terms.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a saying that it's difficult to become a poet in your own hometown or something to that effect,
Mm-hmm.
because all your observations are just piecemeal, or what's the common knowledge
Yeah.
to everyone around you. Did you ever consider going elsewhere? I was convinced for some reason up until like what 2 days ago that you were
Yeah.
British, and I don't know why. It's
Yeah.
probably because you named your dog George. Um,
Yeah, that could do it. I guess maybe I was an Anglophile a bit when I was in high school, because
ah,
I was a little bit obnoxious.
nice.
So, that probably still lingers a little bit. Um, no, I like New York. I've lived in New York since I was just turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I grew up in upstate New York. That's another story.
Mm.
But yeah, but I mean, it's frustrating too, again, because like, uh, everything costs so much, it's sort of
Yeah.
the
So what is it
um
specifically that you like? Like, why would you stay?
when I think about where would I want to go, if not New York, I can't think of anything else. So
Fair
I
enough.
guess, is that, I don't know. It's like, you see those t-shirts where it's like, I'm not an American, I'm from New York. Like, it's ridiculous. That's a dumb thing to say, but I also kind of agree with it a little bit.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, there's a difference between that and Iowa, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah, totally. Like the real America,
Yeah.
like I'm glad not to be part of the real America,
Yeah.
because it allows me to a little distance from the war crimes.
But maybe you would. Okay, sorry for being broy. You would increase like your stock. The inherent value to
Yeah.
your employability if you were to be in Egypt or I don't know,
Well,
Serbia
that's the
or
funny part, because
anywhere.
like, like there's a lot of competition obviously in New York for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And the company that I'm working for right now is headquartered in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So, um and they're having difficulty finding someone to replace me because, I do have skills, for better or
Yeah.
worse, that are not, I guess, average to flirting, because there's in a fashion industry there. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So think
But
about that. Like,
all my stuff's in New York. So
yeah,
what am
yeah.
I gonna
I mean,
do?
fair enough. But think about if a career and a job and those things are what matter to you. Think about where you would be valued highest and where you would be harder to replace. That's where they
Yeah,
will pay you more.
that's true.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately, like, part of the sort of, um, I mean, I don't think that my career matters to me as much as
To some people, yeah,
some
yeah.
people. I think that I would focus on it more if it were like, if I really wanted to be like the best visual merchandiser in the world.
So on occasion, I will journal a little. Just
Mhm.
for me, I don't share it with anyone. But the other day, I was thinking about what would I do if I didn't have to work. Like if I woke up tomorrow and I was laid off, or I came into a bunch of money all of a sudden, which would be really nice, by the way, manifesting.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
You gotta just put that on the board.
what would you actually do? Um, and it's not, the answer is not given. And
Hmm.
for me, inactivity is not the goal. I want to do
Yeah,
something that makes me feel, like my life has meaning somehow, or I can invest in the relationships that I care about, which is also difficult when people are working, 9 to 5 or more. Um, but what do you think you would do? You no longer have to work. You're no longer bound by the chains of capitalism. What do you do?
well, you think about this sort of fantasy of like, oh, I won the lottery.
Hmm.
And I think that, like, it would be fun to give money away. I think that would be nice. Probably the nicest thing. Like, you look at sort of the uh, our moneyed class across the world, and they
Hmm.
seem like rotten people.
Hmm.
Like, you would never want to spend any time with Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or anything like that, because they're, a little sociopathic. And you think about that image of Jeff Bezos riding the roller coaster at Disney World by himself. Like, he has the money to, like, shut down the park to get onto a roller coaster, and it's by himself. Like, that's pathetic.
I remember when Michael
Um,
Jackson went to the grocery store and just went alone. That to me was like the epitome of luxury and opulence, and yeah, I just thought it
yeah,
was such a cool thing as a kid.
yeah. Well,
Just
I mean,
going to the grocery store and close the whole thing off. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
yeah. Well, he had other problems besides
Yeah, a
the
couple.
grocery store, being recognized at the grocery store. So yeah, that would be fun if I had a lot of money to give it away.
There was a couple, an older couple in New Brunswick in Canada, and they won one of the bigger like raffle things, the
Mhm.
jackpot thing. Um, and what was the story again? I think they actually like donated all of it to some
Mhm.
charity, or cancer ward, or something like that, because
Yeah.
they said essentially we've we've been very fortunate in our lives. Like, we have enough money, we have kids and grandkids, and they're all doing fine by themselves.
Mhm.
Um, we're not doing this for money. We're doing this to go down to the local corner store and just talk to the clerk while we do our scratch tickets, whatever it was.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we want to give it all away to a charity that is close to us. Cool.
Well, I didn't say give it all away.
No, no, no,
Just.
no, no. Fair enough. But that's kind of what this older couple did. And then what happened after, which this is where the story gets interesting, I guess, was that
Uh-huh.
there started like scam people on social media. Started setting up accounts in their name using
Oh,
their
yeah.
picture and stuff,
Yeah.
saying, "We're giving all of this away. If you just send us whatever the transfer cost for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
transaction would be, and we will deposit a bunch of cash into your account." And then
Yeah.
they took this real article from a real, more prominent sort of newspaper, and
Yeah.
saying, "This is the proof. We're
Yeah.
giving it all away. We started by this, but we still have 1 million or 10 million or whatever." And so people started harassing the real couple in real
Oh
life,
God.
saying, like, "Oh, but my child has a heart disease, or please give
Yeah.
this to me, and I need a new car, or my truck broke down on the
Yeah.
highway." And so what came out of this incredibly generous and altruistic gesture was nothing but people harassing them
Misery.
and
Yeah.
misery. How amazing is that?
Wow. Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all my money.
Don't tell anyone. Just give it away and be
Okay.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I could just like go on GoFundMe and anonymously,
yeah, totally.
you
Go
know,
ride that
give
roller coaster by yourself a couple of times
by
and then just
myself. Yeah.
donate it and don't let anyone take any pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, that's a good plan.
Yeah.
Now we just need to win the lottery. So I
Right.
think,
That little detail.
yeah.
Yeah. Who do you look up to in terms of Instagram?
Oh gosh. Who do I look up to?
What's a cool account or a couple of cool accounts?
Well, I like yours.
Thank you.
Let me look. I'm gonna look.
And until you find one that you like, tell me what
Hmm.
makes a good Instagram account.
I want to see something that I haven't seen before. You know, like there's like once something enters the ecosystem, it's like everyone has it, you know?
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, like there are like big accounts that have hundreds of thousands of followers that kind of do the same thing that I do. And when I like beat them to the chase of posting a thing, like I'm like, yes, I got
Yeah.
it. I still got it.
Yeah.
Um, and I like accounts that have a clear voice,
Mhm.
you know. Um, there are people who are more front facing on their accounts and they speak more from the eye rather than a sort of general sense. And I think I like that. You
Mhm.
know, it's nice to, it's like the, you know, you turn on the TV to pretend that like people are in the room with you, sort of that quality
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
God, I can't even think. I should know better. I'm on Instagram like 8 hours a day.
What do you
Um,
do when you're on Instagram? Like, what's a typical Instagram 8 hours a day session like?
it's not 8 hours a day. That's my total screen time. Instagram's
Sure.
maybe half of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. We've all been there. Yeah. It's no shame.
Yeah. So you know, you do the check. You check your notifications.
Hmm.
Has anyone interesting followed you?
Mm.
You check the messages that the general messages where I've exiled some lunatics just to see that they're not getting crazy. Um, you you checked the not approved messages
Oh,
to
right.
see like the real dangerous. That's where the real
Yeah,
danger is
yeah. The
because
ones that are like hidden requests.
yes,
That's where the
yeah,
magic
because
happens.
there's like sometimes there's death threats. There's
Yeah.
like a lot of scams. There's like
Wow. Yeah.
then there are the people. I'm sure you get this too, where like the people who message you like every single day, they have a response, they have this, and they keep doing it like hundreds of times.
Yeah,
Like you can
for
go
years.
back
Yeah.
and it's like and like it's startling sometimes like they're having a one-sided conversation with me that
Yeah.
I'm not responding to
Yeah.
and it some of like I try to be like a studious person and like you know answer as many as I can
Mhm.
but then like some of them have gone on for so long and like I'm aware of this person now because it's so extraordinary that they're continuing to reply and respond
Yeah,
and
you develop
react
a relationship somehow.
yeah, and so it's like I kind of have to look to see what's going on with this person because they're still doing it, and I feel bad. I genuinely feel bad because I should have responded.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm. It's not. I'm not a famous person. You know,
Well, you
I'm
kind
on
of
there
are.
anyway.
60,000 followers. That's a lot of people.
I know, but it's within my power to at least nominally address.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then,
yeah.
like, I've
Fair.
let it go for so long. It's like you know, it's like in the in the book, The House of Sand and Fog
I don't know
the
that
woman
one.
who ends up losing her house. Well, she
Okay.
loses her house, and then someone else buys it, and it's this whole thing. So she doesn't open any of her mail, and
Mm.
that's why she misses the notice that she owes money on this house that
Uh,
she ends up losing. So my mom and I would joke like when you don't open your mail for a while, and this was like when I was a drunk pretty much,
yeah.
and so I wouldn't open my mail, and it would just be like this like huge pile,
Yeah.
and and it was you were just house of sand and fogging, you know, you were just like letting it
Sure.
pile up and ignoring it
Yeah.
and it's sort of like that. There's sort of, you know, it because it is a two-way street, in as much as it's like a one-way street too.
Yeah.
Because I do feel that if you have, I have a parasocial relationship with some people online, but
Mm.
I don't really, I'm not a messenger. Like I don't message people
Yeah.
frequently. Like I'm not going to message like Paulina Porzakova because, you know, it's just, it's weird, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So, so I do feel like there's that social expectation. Like if someone is nice to me, I don't want to be mean to them. But then
Mm.
I've decided that I not answered this for so long that now it's like I need to check in on it to see what's going on. It's very strange.
Well,
It's
that's
just
I don't know. It's
strange.
kind of kind and caring of you, but I
Yeah,
understand it puts you in a
but I'm
weird
still
spot.
ignoring them. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like
So
it's
they will
I'm
never
very
know.
conflicted about it.
Yeah.
You know, you scroll, you do the scroll. Uh, oh, you know what? I like this. There's a Star Trek account that does like weird Star Trek stuff called Soy Trek. I like that. That's a good one.
Okay. So trick.
Um,
That's great. Writing
yeah.
it down.
Oh, Miss Lady Salad is great.
Mm.
An amazing Instagram artiste. I follow a bunch of urine therapy accounts because I'm obsessed with people thinking that drinking urine can like cure cancer
And
and like
pouring it into your eyes and your hair and
pouring it
stuff.
into your
Yeah.
eyes. I think it's amazing. I will never do it in my own life, but I'm so glad that people are doing it. Um,
Yeah.
because I mean, like, my God, like just and the did you see the one where like the woman poured it into swimming goggles and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
put the
Yeah.
goggles over?
Is that the one where she's complaining after that she's starting to feel like
Her eyes
pus
are
in her?
red.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yes, yeah. She has an infection in her eyes because she put pee in goggles and then wore the goggles. Well, golly gee, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
um,
Can't believe this keeps happening to me,
yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one called Troll Poon Paradise, which is just disgusting. It's a disgusting, shameful account, and I love it.
You know what?
Um,
So on occasion, I will, I'll repost a lot of stuff and I'll try to tag people just
yeah,
to let them know that hey, you posted a thing. I thought it
yeah,
was really fun. I hope more
yeah.
people find your account. I'm fine now, but when I was like a bigger account, it
Hmm.
could sometimes feel like the kiss of death because I like things that are subversive. And all of a
Yeah,
sudden, when I'm directing a bunch of people that all go on there and they're like, I don't like this, report, report,
yeah,
report.
yes, yeah,
Um,
yep.
there was one person that shall remain nameless that I think blocked me as a result
Hmm.
of me doing that. Because like I meant nothing but there's only goodwill
Yeah,
and nice intentions, but I think that
yeah.
the reality of it is like it's um it's a little bit scary. Like people don't always have good intentions with how they treat those things.
Well, I just assumed that like if you're following me, then you have my sense of humor, you know, like
Yeah,
and
but not
it's a little
always.
dark, but
There's
not always.
one
Yeah,
in 500 that's just like
yeah,
I'm following you because I hate you so much. It's like
yeah.
okay,
Thank
good for
you.
you. Yeah, must be an
Um,
interesting way to live your life.
yeah, right. Um, yeah. So
Cool.
I forgot what I was even
No, no,
saying.
you said Troll Poon Paradise.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
a disgusting account, and it's
nice,
like it's amazing. It's amazing Photoshop. Um, truly, I'm oftentimes shocked, which is what how I want to be.
nice,
Um,
nice.
let's see, what else have we got? Northwest MCM
Has
Wholesale
been
is a good
mentioned,
meme
I
account.
think, in every single conversation that I've had so far, or
Yeah,
at least close to it.
yeah,
Yeah, the guy is spectacular. I
yeah,
told him the other day. I said you're some kind of genius. I don't know how you keep doing this.
yeah,
And he said no, I'm just online a lot. So maybe that's the key. I don't know.
terminally online.
Yeah, he must be online a whole lot because I've seen people that are online a lot and it's not to that same level. So
Yeah.
yes, nothing
Oh,
but
Dusty
reverence.
Cohen is good too. I like
Yes,
Dusty Cohen.
it's a good
That's
one.
can be a little inflammatory for
Yeah.
sure.
So I like inflammatory sometimes. Sometimes I will follow people that I think it's relatively clear that they're not very good people because they will
Yeah.
post, like all
Yes.
sorts of shitty takes on all and
Yes. Yes.
it comes off as many of the people that I've interviewed even for whatever I'm doing here has been like they'll post a really crazy take that's a really bad take, but
Yeah.
I always get the feeling that these people do not mean these things.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
raise it up because it's ludicrous and
Yeah.
absurd. But there are people that I follow that I just believe to be shitty people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
every so often they'll post something and it's just like
Yeah.
hilarious because they don't
Well,
pull any punches.
yeah.
They just say whatever deranged thought enters their mind, and like
Well, it's
I'm
like, you know,
curious.
Will Blunderfield, that guy who like who isn't gay, he says, but all he wants to do is masturbate with his bros. He's like
Oh
bald. He
yeah,
looks
yeah, yeah. I
insane. He's
do know.
got crazy
I do
eyes. He
do
also
know him.
drinks his own urine.
Yeah.
You get a lot from him. There's this soap opera actress that I'm sure you've seen on my account that I'm absolutely obsessed with. She has since blocked me,
Oh no.
but her name's Brenda Dixon.
Okay.
She was on The Young and the Restless in the 70s and 80s, and she is a big Trump gal.
Mm.
She's insane. She like photo or face tunes her pictures so her face just looks like a flesh
Oh,
plate with like makeup on
I
it.
love that. Yeah.
And my partner Billy was like, "You got to leave this old lady alone. It looks like you're bullying this old lady." But I was so obsessed with her because it's so insane.
Yeah, you just
And
can't
like
help
I like
to
I
watch.
bought her
Yeah.
book. She self-published this book that had like so many spelling and grammatical errors, and it like made no sense. I bought the book.
Of course.
Um, but then she blocked me, and it was sort of like, lady, I'm a fan of
Yeah.
yours, not
Totally.
for the reasons you want me to
Right.
be
Right.
from The Young and the Restless, but because of the way you are. And like,
Yeah.
so
There's something very fascinating with people that don't have that distance to themselves, you know?
yeah,
Like they can't view themselves from how other people see them. They just
yeah,
see, I'm the main character, full stop.
yeah,
I love that so much. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, where do you think your account will go in the future?
I don't know. It's I've been kind of bored with it lately a little bit,
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and then like, just like the whole online experience is pretty, I don't know. Like what I wonder what is next. Like we're getting like duplicate apps now. It's like Threads and Twitter and blah blah blah. It's
Hmm.
like, do I have the bandwidth to like find something new? Um, but I'll just keep plugging along, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Fair enough. And I agree with you, but I also, yeah, there's something. Like, if you look back, at least for me, I've gotten a lot of positivity from my account, relationships
Yeah,
and new ideas, and I think I'm a more, I hate to say this, but more educated person because of many of the conversations that I've had with a lot of people. You know, and
yeah,
it's worth something to me, and I agree with you that sometimes it feels a little like thankless, and maybe it's run its course, but it's also one of those things that keeps on giving a little, but it takes
yeah,
a while for when I post my next thing, a couple of hundred people might like it and whatever, and that's great.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. It's such a like tiny little compound thing, and
yeah,
over time it develops into something. But I don't know. I don't know if and when it will peak, and I don't know what to make of it either.
yeah.
If
I
I
mean,
had
because like my
5
goal
million
isn't,
followers, who cares?
yeah, my
Yeah,
goal isn't monetizing it.
yeah.
I don't I don't want to do that work. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I don't want to, I don't know, make t-shirts or, have live show. I don't like, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
so it's a little bit more nebulous, like
Hmm.
the reward, I think of it. And like you're saying, like, I definitely have learned a lot
Hmm.
about the world and about things. And, it is entertaining, like the
Yeah,
worst thing is to be boring. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, so like I would rather have like a Will Blunderfield like talking about drinking his urine in my feed than like another like shirtless gay trying on a bland outfit and getting like a million likes. You know what I mean? Because that's boring. Like you've curated your life to the point where like it's not real anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all outward facing and the interior life is absent. Will Blunderfield is all interior life
Hmm.
because he's out of his fucking mind. And like true insane people
Yeah.
have a rich interior life.
So I interviewed um, Breeding Castle
Yes.
on
Yeah.
on this project, and she refers to them as rare guys, and says that it's difficult to say what constitutes a rare guy, but you know it when you see it. And I think
Yes.
your definition of just having your inside projecting onto the world
Yes.
like all the
Yeah.
time relentlessly with no compromise, that's pretty close to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like I'm stuck on Will, I know,
Sure,
but like
that's
there's so
fine.
like I was just thinking about like because I am a gay man, I have been gay my whole life, but he really is a homophobe. But
Yeah.
he has these the sexual drive to have sex with men, but
Hmm.
he identifies as straight.
Hmm.
And so he cloaks it in like this sort of Celtic imagery where like the men would do this together before battle,
Right.
and it's like
To
a
justify
cultural
it in
thing.
his frame of reference.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Fantastic.
so like it causes a lot of conflict with the world because the base premise is at odds.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we don't live in, the
Yeah.
200s. We live now, and
Simpler
like
times. Yeah.
so yeah, you could just like rub your dick on your bro and it wouldn't be gay.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Um and then like he lives in Toronto, I think. So and he likes to walk around nude in this cruising park, and he
Oh.
gets mad when gay guys look at him. So it's just like you have this like you're welcoming conflict into your life, and
Yeah.
like in my own life I'm trying to like eliminate conflict
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
just like I'm too emotional to have a lot of conflict, and like I feel like I've gotten to a good place in my life. I have a great relationship, I have blah, like
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But these people, these like
You can
lunatics
live
who really
vicariously a little.
are,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like because I feel when I was like on drugs,
Mm.
that was I did insane things
Mm-hmm.
like because you're just reacting all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And so like, yeah, okay, I'll get in your car and drive to New Jersey so we can have sex, and I'll do all your drugs,
Yeah.
and we're going to be in your dead grandmother's house and it's empty except for a mattress on the floor,
Yeah.
like, so like it is that sort of vicarious pull of like chaos.
Yeah. Close
um
to the wire all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, it's right on the knife's edge.
Amazing. I we're almost at time. I like to ask people, do you have a question for me?
Oh God, it's like
And
the end of a job interview.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but just in case
It's
there's anything,
fine.
yeah.
I think so. I don't
Okay,
think
fair
so.
enough. If you think of anything, you can reach out after.
I will see.
What was this conversation like compared to your expectations?
Um, I would say it was pretty similar
Oh
because
yeah.
I saw a little thumbnail of an interview you did with someone else
Hmm.
where it was like your setup, you're wearing your headphones and a t-shirt, and so I just got like I could tell from your face and your name
Yeah,
that you were probably like not North American. So it was like it was right on. I feel like, and I'm proud of myself.
that's good.
Yes.
I saw someone the other day. They posted. I didn't understand why this person showed up in my feed, but then I
Hmm.
realized that they were one of the like shitty people that I started following, and this person posted a selfie, and I don't know if I don't think phrenology is real or anything because they debunked that pretty.
A criminal skull shape.
Yeah, exactly. But this person, I looked at this person and it was evident to me that this is a transphobe and
Yeah.
anti-vaxxer and a Trump
Yeah.
supporter
Yes.
and
Yes.
someone who will like homeschool their kids, which is like
Yes.
to the detriment of humanity.
Yeah.
Um,
For no, no, it's for racial reasons, so they can keep their kids away from
but
any
but
sort of
but I saw this person without seeing what they posted, and I thought
just
this
a
to myself.
still image.
And I thought this to myself, like, and then I
Yeah.
thought, I can't judge people like that. That's not a nice thing to do. But then, sure enough, next freaking thing over. Yeah, I think.
Well, I didn't think any of that stuff from you,
Well,
but
I should hope not. I try to maybe not be that person, but it doesn't come very
yeah.
natural to me anyway. But I think you can surmise a lot from very, very shallow observations
I
on a lot
know
of people.
it's unfortunate that it works out like that so often.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And you in real life, I think I'm a little bit more affording. I'll give people a second and third and 11th chance too. But like online, it's such a like snap judgment because there's such a steady um, influx of new people all the time. So like I think you're
Yeah.
forced to be a little bit more shallow. And also,
Yeah.
it's just a platform. Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, I really enjoyed this conversation. I had a blast. I hope you had a
Me
nice
too.
time too.
I did.
Say hi to George again, a little bit more for me.
Hi,
Yeah,
George.
there you go. Have fun at the beach. I'll
All right.
send you the
Thank you.
recording soon, and we'll be in touch. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Where's my? There it is.